Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to another episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. We have a number of new subscribers in the last 2 weeks. Thanks a lot for that. Also, I've noticed that people are going to the free resource funnel to where they can get the free resource, but you aren't pulling it down. So let me know if you're having a problem. Otherwise, you really should get this because the resource is free and what the resource has for you in terms of resources is free. It's all free, so it's in your interest to really learn as much as you can about AI. And that is a perfect segue into today. So let's say that I am a person who is lower income or minority, and I don't have a lot of credit. I pay for most things with cash. I have one credit card, but that's it. And I may or may not have a car loan. And yet I've saved up my money. And now I want to buy a house and I want to get a mortgage. So I go apply for that mortgage. Well, it's interesting because a new study just came out from Stanford HAI. I did one thing before from them a couple of months ago about AI algorithms deciding parole. But in this case, AI algorithms are deciding whether you get the mortgage or not. And what the study found was that people who are minority or low income are getting denied wrongly more often. And they said there's a reason for that. And it's not what we would necessarily expect with outright bias and the algorithm being programmed with outright bias. Rather, it's that folks like the folks I described, being minority or low income, only one credit card, maybe a car loan, or maybe not, have what's called a thin credit history. So that means you don't have a lot of activity on your credit account. And what happens when you have a thin credit history is that if you pay a bill late and you get a late payment ding, it has a much larger effect than someone who has a whole lot of different credit cards or whatever, and they make a late payment on only one thing, but they have a bunch of other stuff that they've never had a late on. So it impacts people's ability to get a mortgage. Well, this is not an outcome we want. And there's a huge reason for this. The huge reason is that there is a massive disparity in wealth in this country between non-minorities and upper income, middle income people versus lower income people, minority people. And the principal driver of this inequality is not owning a home. Why? Because check this out. Let's say you pay $1,500 a month for an apartment. Depending on where you live, unless it's San Francisco or New York City or somewhere like that, but outside of those cities, you can buy a home for that $1,500 a month. Well, what's the difference? By paying a mortgage instead of rent, rent gets you nothing. It's like leasing a car. You're literally throwing money away. How do I know this? Because I've listened to countless experts and read their books that all say this. So, but if you pay that same $1,500 against a mortgage, then you're paying off your mortgage. And when you retire, you have equity, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 of equity. That's wealth. So let's get back to what we're exactly talking about, but you needed to understand that. So the fact that these bank algorithms are disadvantaging low-income people and minority people perpetuates this inequality, and it's just not right on its face, because if you're the kind of person who will pay your bills every single month, then you deserve to be able to get a mortgage, provided you have the income to service that. And these days, that means you can pay up to 35% of your net income towards your mortgage and be considered creditworthy. So this is a lot of people who are currently renting. So this needs to be fixed. And the interesting part about this study is the researchers at Stanford, and they were working with the University of Chicago, tried to fix this. And they were not able to fix it, even by adding in data about race and about income. They could not fix this problem. And that's because of this thin credit history problem. So I'm not going to tell you how to fix that. There's a lot of books about it. In fact, I can recommend one right off the bat, The Automatic Millionaire. Very easy to read, incredible book. But suffice it to say, you can fix this problem with your credit history, and you can afford to buy a house, and you can build wealth. And you should do that for yourself and your family, because these AI algorithms that are making all the decisions now cannot fix this problem. So that puts the ball in your court. And we are here to help people deal with AI. So this video is a great example of the AI guide, me and my team, trying to help you have a better life in the face of AI. AI is making most of the decisions about, do you get a credit card? Do you get a mortgage? Do you get a student loan? All that stuff. Student loans are easier, but that's a different topic. But it's all being decided by AI. So word to the wise, read a book about it, Automatic Millionaire, or another book that you prefer. Another one is The Index Card, great book. And stop paying rent. Build your wealth. That's your way of sticking it to AI. So thanks a lot. We appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please support us on Patreon. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we hope you enjoyed this segment. We presented it a little differently than we have before. Thanks. Bye.